Hello, everybody. Welcome back to OSL. This is week 1 of Division 1, Sunday, so day 3, and we're ending out the first week of games with some fantastic sets tonight. We have 4 games, starting very early on Sundays, as I don't think a single person in the world wants to be up at 12 to 1 a.m. on a Sunday evening when they got work and school in the morning, playing DVD. But to start us off with tonight, we do have Celestial vs Flatline, which we'll be going into the first game on Dark Lord, but I'll go into more of the matches in just a little bit. I first want to introduce my co-caster, Chief. How are you this weekend?
Hello, I am good. Happy to be back after last night. Returned from my one game of casting, and obviously I did end up playing our final game of the night. That was another 1 a.m. finish for us, and we're definitely hoping to not have another one of those tonight, like you said, Smunk. But no, we do have a very good selection of matches coming up. Celestial versus Flatline promises to be very, very entertaining. Seeing some sets finally not on Macmillan, that's something to look forward to for sure. Dark Lord will be our first set on Wretched Shot, picked by Celestial. That will be their killer loading in right now. But following that will be Hillbilly on Blood Lodge, picked by Flatline. I'm sure that will be another Bravo masterclass coming on up. And if we are to get their Ghoul on Suffocation Pit, a return to Coal Tower and Suffocation Pit. Macmillan, home city for the tiebreaker if we are to get their Smunk.
It is a good realm, very popular as well amongst the comp players, been in the game since 2016, generally just very well-liked maps all around. Coal Tower especially is kind of the go-to default map for like testing new killers and stuff because it's, you know, fairly safe. But Wretched Shop, Dark Lord, it seems to be his home in OC. People seem to like him. On this map due to his innate mobility with Batform, butt loading, and he is a tier 2 killer, so he definitely has a couple of things he has to deal with. Things like Overcome and Dead Hard are available on this set, so it's just sort of in between tier 1 and tier 3. And then following up, we go have Hillbilly Blood Lodge Flatline pick. I'm keen to see how that plays out, and then as you said, Ghoul TB Suffer Pit 1, and then we have Artorias Excite after this is 4:30, Tenside vs Scarlet at 6, and then Ancestor vs Longbottom at 7:30 p.m. So I don't think we'll be seeing any 1 a.m. sets because all the Sunday games are very early. But very good stealth so far at the start of the game here. No one quite found our killer here is having a little bit of trouble tracking any of the survivors, and they're doing a fantastic job of just taking things slow, but we are now finally seeing some generator pressure here. We might have seen the grass moving here from Ace, or we did run for a little bit. They would have left a scratch mark, but Ray has not tracked it. Oh, it did leave a scratch mark, actually. No, it did. My apologies, I am blind as a bat, but we do find our Ace player here zoning with the Hellfire just a little bit, playing it super safe. Excellent placement there, protecting the wide angle as well, so that will be the first tag of the game, and Max just has to play around this power that isn't the greatest. He does go for the throw, baits it out the down, but wins the 50-50, so now we have to deal with the dog dash here. Doesn't quite, oh, it does hit! I think that's just a little bit generous, and based off that, I'm going to say this is probably a ping set. Yes, it is. I think Celestial is NEA, if I'm not mistaken, Chief.
They are from SEA, actually. They are
SEA.
Thai. This, for your knowledge, and for everyone else in the viewers right now, this is previously Oppenheimer, Team Oppenheimer from Thailand. They have rebranded to Celestial for this season across all of their tournaments, and Ray, as always, off to a flying start as he did for Oppenheimer, bringing it back for Season 6, unable to connect with that dog bound onto Bravo, but this would have been a very quick down yet again after the one onto Max. The snipe with the Hellfire is able to connect, though, so that down comes in nonetheless, and Ray will be heading right on back to that hook. We do see Saki rotating for the pickup. We're accepting the fact that Max is going to have to sit for a little while longer. Micah, rather, on this gen at 3. Gonna have to stick it to make sure our progress is not held up for too long. But that down onto Bravo is so crucial for Ray. It's going to allow the game to stall out so much more than what he was previously expecting, and like I said, it most likely means Max will be going second on this hook. Saki, though, will be resetting Bravo and potentially playing for a last second trade, but it's not something that we should point out with the Dark Lord is that trading is very, very difficult. You do see the Hellfire in the hand of Ray pulling in the face of the killer, basically results in a guaranteed 2-tap onto either survivor, just because you can hit that BT so quickly and follow up with an M1 right on after. And I think our survivors were well aware of that, knowing that they couldn't let that pull come out with Ray sitting there, so they've allowed Max to go second, and now Saki in chase, able to avoid the Hellfires, but will most definitely be taking this M1 tag all the way to 3, and Micah now will rotate for the unhooked Smunk.
Yes, we do finally see the unhook coming in eventually, although Saki might be in a bit of a tough situation here. Not a great power to work with. Does greet it though. M1 coming through, doesn't connect. We're so far away. Expecting the wide swing there on the Hellfire, but we're too far away to even be concerned about the Hellfire there. We do get the pull for free, so no tags coming through, although I'm definitely sure the tunnel out will be happening here on Max. We want a game of dead as soon as humanly possible, and we might have one of our teammates trying to play with us, maybe a head-on and check if we're super lucky. We're going back to this tile that we were defeated at earlier. It does have it down powered still, and I think Rage is going to play it super patient, go with a little bit of Hellfire zoning, although we are in wall form, so maybe a bit of a dog dash here would do us wonders. No, we're just walking them down. We don't even need to worry about anything like that. We're well past our BT time, so there's a bit of an awkward chase. I'm not too sure why we went all the way back to this downed pallet. We had the BT time, enough time on our BT to potentially get the Shack pallet, and that would have been a much better pallet to go with the pre-drop, but now we're just dead on the floor, although we did get one gen done in the background, so now we're at 3 gens, which is a much more manageable state of the game to be in. However, with how these changes have been tracking, this is moving towards what I would believe would be a 4K, unless we see Flatline survivors here go for an insane juice up. Ray unfortunately bugging up his dog dash just a little bit, so that will not be colliding at all. We go for the pre-throw here on the side of Saki as well. We are going to be dying in the actors if we're able to hit this Hellfire. If we're able to dodge it, that'd be a great boon for our survivor team. But no, we just go for the M2 fake. A Dark Lord classic. Other killers can do it too, but definitely much rougher on the Dark Lord. But oh, nearly the sprint burst champion alive. Beamer save from Tae Young there. Micah not quite coming through though. We have our dog dash back off cooldown. We're edging it just a little bit, trying to get in position. It comes through. We get that tag. That's great to see. Saki on the hook as well, and a tag onto Micah, losing a little bit of distance as we did double back through the Dark Lord. They're in the tag over the pallet. We're on a tear here, but we do see Saki being unhooked in the background, and that is second wind proccing here. So ideally we do get that automatic heal, and we're immediately taking the chase onto Bravo now, Chief.
Yeah, Bravo's going to have to do his best to. Last Saki will obviously be reset by themselves in about 20 seconds, and it's going to be in their best interest to use this time to go and pick up their friend Micah, but Ray, all too aware of that as well, he's going to try and get this down as quickly as possible onto Bravo. The Hellfire does come out, is unable to connect, so Bravo is able to get this pallet down safely, but we agreed to Shack, and without the distance we require, we're going to try and force locker, but the ping yet again comes to bite us. We're in that locker, but we've still been smited. That's us on the ground, quickly picked up and forced into the basement by Ray. Consolidation for our survivors, though. We have managed to get Micah off the ground and reset, so both survivors in the trial standing, Saki and Micah, are healthy and able to play with 2 health states and no grunts of pain, so hopefully they're going to be able to reposition that a little bit easier moving forward. Saki now obviously all the way at 6. He's going to be playing for that unhook onto Bravo as Ray ventures towards main. Micah already there playing for this generator. It's about 50% so far, and Ray's going to now come and kick a get eruption on this generator, but not spend the time to look. Oh, if only he was aware that Micah was right under his nose. That's the issue that you have when you are playing Dark Lord, is you're so easy and able to traverse the map and get around to the places you need to be, as we see Ray already back at 6 with his bats, but you're unable to locate any survivors. Another problem here as well that the Dark Lord faces for his survivors is that BT hit with the with the Hellfire means that a dog dash could follow up very quickly, but Ray will not be able to connect with those, and unfortunately a misclicked M1 means that Bravo is able to make that little bit extra distance, his pallet all the way at 5 edge, and the greed, once again, we've decided to send it to 6, but the only thing left we have to play is this edge filler. Unfortunately for Bravo, we're not going to be able to see the killer around it because he's short and slow, but Ray able to catch up just in time and get that down. This will be a second hook onto Bravo and his pain res that will most likely be hitting Micah's gen at main, and Saki yet again having to leave his gen and potentially play for an unhook. If either survivor is found right now, especially Saki, Smunk, the game will be very dicey. Ray is in such a strong position, and with the blood spotted on the ground, I dare say he could be ending things right here and now.
Oh no, the dead hard coming in clutch there, and Saki being injured from that Hellfire all the way back in Shack. We hit both the Unhooker and the Unhookee in that basement Hellfire. I don't know if we actually caught that, but that's where the injury came from Saki, because he healed from second wind. But no, he will be going down there as well. Unhook came in on Bravo in the background too, so we see down there on the HUD Micah resetting Bravo there. We need people healthy to stick the gens, but at the pace we're going right now, we have 2 people on Deathlock, Micah being our final fresh in the game. We got to get popping these gens. We can't be getting 4K3 on our first set on the Dark Lord. Now, of course, Flatline do have that hillbilly set coming up with that I'm sure they're very confident on. But Celestial, formerly Oppenheimer, very well-versed team, know their stuff. They were played very well in Division 1 in Season 5. I think previously they were in the initial Academy Season 2 where they did it very well. But Flatline also one of our Division 2 teams that didn't quite make the finals area, but because of the increased roster size, they were able to make it to Division 1 alongside some other OCE teams. But doing an excellent job here is Bravo. Getting blocked from vaulting back. Great work from Ray. Excellent usage of the bat form there, and this dog dash should come through, and that will be an injury. I'm sure we will be seeing him dead any second now, just with one usage of the Hellfire. We do place the chem trap on this tile, but this tile has not saved Flatline too many times. It's kind of been a place for them to go die and swim with the fishes, but no, the Hellfire does come through, and he does go down. Second death on the board, still at 3 gens. Micah's gen is decently progressed, though, however. We have 2 pain race tokens. One is Micah. I think the other one is actually Bravo, but sorry, not Bravo, it's Saki, I believe. So we haven't really needed much of our pain race tokens. We've only used half of them. Wretched Fate has done nothing because our tunnel lab was our obsession. It's just been raw killer mechanics. I think we just, I thought we saw him behind the thing. He's not even there, but I'm pretty sure he was looking for it too. So our perks not really helping us too much. Corrupt and Eruption being the big power players in the build here, are not getting too much Wretched Fate or pain res value this game, although it certainly has helped. Well, I think we might be able to find Micah. Yes, we do see the scratch marks here, and this is exactly who you want to find. A very, very greedy swing M1 there on the raw form will result in the tag onto Micah. Now he's just kind of stuck at this terrible pallet. He doesn't have his exhaustion up as he is the sprint burst player, but he has fixated Champion alive. If he's able to use it to maybe recover some exhaustion while trying to work this terrible pallet, it will be a great boon to him just to try and sprint burst away if he is lucky. But we're going for a dog dash here, and we go wide, but no, we predict the duck in there. But the call, I think the call did come through. I'm not too sure if we saw Adams or but we're all fully aware of exactly where he is. No, the call did not come through on the side of Flatline, so we know exactly where Saki is, and this will definitely, after this final chase, be a 4K3 for Celestial to kick things off. Chief.
Yeah, a very, very dominant result so far on their pick, of course. So you can honestly expect for them to play quite well, but Ray, like always, I remember, Smunk, I don't know if you would have been around at that time. Well, you were definitely around, but I don't know if you would have been present at the time when Gunther was casting Ray's first game in OSL, and the guy said he's an up-and-coming talent all the way back in Season 3, and the way he's progressed throughout the last year and a half in OSL has been honestly very, very impressive. He's proven to be one of our strongest overall killer players, able to play near enough every single set to the very highest ability. And, you know, I think this performance on Dark Lord has shown that. You pointed out that, oh my god, Unbreakable.
Yep, that's on tier 2.
Guys, Unbreakable's on tier 2 now. That's a decision we made, and I completely forgot about it. The game isn't over yet! Starkey is on his feet, but yeah, wow. Yeah, the perks, changes. OSL Season 6, like nothing you've ever seen before in OCE, and you know what? If that doesn't sum it up, I feel like the fact that the balancing team is just as surprising. Yeah, you know what? Real head scratcher from
Our
me there.
memories are real good.
Yes, we made decisions that we do stand by and remember. Unfortunately, Saki isn't going to be standing very much longer in this trial. Unbreakable only can't Mori that, man. Unlucky, Ray. Yeah, I've got to wait for Micah to go second to get that Mori. So the hook will come out. That will be Ray's 4K3 secured. But no, what was I talking about? Oh, Ray. Yes, of course, Ray.
On the right track, because you know all the stinky things are all well and good, but like if we don't hear about the things that you like, then you know maybe we stop doing the things you like. So yeah, this season big focus on like the perk changes and stuff, and obviously we had some killers we haven't been in the pool in a while, and also new killers in the form of Jason, Slinger and Clown being back in the pool, with the maps being fairly safe. I would say they're fairly normal, safe maps. I think with the only exception being Doctor, because we're gonna. Yeah, Doctor's on Dead Sands. I think that's the only like outlier map. Everything else is fairly stock standard. A couple of Lake Mines, but Lake Mine is fairly well liked for the most part. So, yeah, big focus on the perk changes. Maybe we look at the maps in the future season and maybe trial in some events and stuff in the off season. But anyway, enough yapping about random mental thought from the balance teams about what we're trying to do. But In the game now, we do see Bravo loading, and we have turned back the clock, Pain Res, and Eruption, so no Wretched Fate, no passive slide, and we're all in on the downs being our core form of slowdown. And this is a disgusting setup here. This is very powered into... Oh, that's a really good jump there from Bravo, but excellent dodge there from Camille. Pre-drop on the Shack pallet here, and that's a disgusting setup once more. The Shack window leading into this drop pallet into a long wall window. That's not a fun thing for Bravo to play around, but he's committing to the chasing onto Camille. I'm sure the other survivors are working the motors in the background, but we do get a really good vault there and a tag onto Camille too, forcing him away from this strong setup and more into the corner. And we are 3 splitting right off the bat here, trying to get all 3 gens done. They're very low progress though, and this should be a very quick down on the side of Bravo. We go for a medium there, but that is ping coming through, and there'll be a very impressive first down there on the side of Bravo. And this is what I was talking about before the game started, that he's very comfortable on the Dark Lord, and we can tell from how he's going for these dog dashes and how he's moving and pathing that he's more than comfortable with his mechanics on Dark Lord, and he seems to think that there's someone stealthing at the edge map here, even though they're 3 splitting, but I think that's just because there's no crowd there. But it's good that he's checking that out, trying to catch out any like survivors looking for quick pulls, because he knows that he has this really tough win con to beat. However, we do have 2 very high progress generators, and it does look like Momo is lurking up the map there, looking for a potential pull. He is our second wind player with the sprint burst as well, so rotating back down the map here, we do apply Eruption. You can apply turn back the clock in bat form, by the way, for those who don't know. But pull coming out once again very quick there onto Camille. FTP2 from Momo onto Camille. Turn back the clock being used there in the background. We find Camille healthy here, but with the dog dash we should be able to get it down, but no, we switch over to vampire form to get a potential help out. That we do. We double back into it. That might be a bit of ping stuff, but if we're getting really good 2-tap here, which we do, Chief, this is setting us on track to try and meet that 4K3 Tycon, maybe even a 4K4 if we get crazy with it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Bravo has played exceptionally well with it. Something I do want to point out, I don't know if you noticed it, Smunk, but on that vault at the T-wall for his first chase, that vault looked really delayed, and I had one of our referees check the ping, you know, because this is a ping matchup, right? Our team here is from Thailand. They should be on about 120 ping to OCE, and most of the survivors are Ray, Momo, Alex, all on about 130 to 150 ping. Cahill's on about 300. So his chases, I don't know why, and I'm very curious to see why. Speaking of things that are also very unfortunate, is Alex G getting tagged there through that pallet. We have seen Momo already pick up an injury as well, so things are definitely spiraling out of control for our survivors right now, but Cahill is once again off that hook. He's going to have to do his best to last, which... not the strongest build in chase, and also, like I mentioned, the 300 ping, it's going to be a very tall order for him to do so. He might need a little bit of assistance in this chase, but at least we do have a strong reason. That pallet drop was so delayed, holy. But Balance Landing will be able to buy us some distance. We're going to have to send it out of this window because you cannot react as a killer coming up the stairs on this amount of ping. And unfortunately for Cahill, we have reacted just in time. Bravo cancelled his Hellfire, so Cahill will live another day. To this filler pallet at 9 now. Cahill going to try and greet it on the ping. I think this is going to be so hard to react to. Yeah, that pallet drop was a very delayed drop yet again. We cannot vault that on that ping. Cahill out of the trial at 3 generators. It's technically doable. Momo having a gen there at 4, very, very high progress, but he is injured and Bravo is to head right over there. He can interrupt that gen in time. Finding Momo would also lead to another pain res and halting all of the progress we did have, but no, Bravo is heading towards 2, sniffing in the wrong direction. Dog form now to try and sniff out a survivor in this location, but to no avail. Everybody on the bottom side of the map. Ray has rotated for that gen at 4 to ensure that it pops, and that would secure the win for Oppenheimer. But Bravo now inching closer and closer. I'm not too sure if he's going to make it there in time. The bat form, Ray, stick the gen. No, we're going to give Bravo a kick. That's going to apply Eruption. Unfortunately, no pop to interrupt that gen's progress immediately. Now it's up to Bravo to sniff out Ray.
Yeah, he's on the right track though, although some unfortunate pathing there, not quite looking in the right spot, has meant that Ray has been able to sneak around the edge map and evade Bravo's gaze entirely, which is something I wasn't expecting. I thought maybe he'd get caught up by the hill, but no, Bravo will now be rotating away from that generator that he's just kicked with Eruption now, unless he gets an insane 2-dap. That gen over by the shack will be popping, and it's definitely going to be popping as both Ray and Tap will be doubling it, but we do teleport back when we get off the gen as well, playing it super safe. We don't have our turn back, the clock had just expired. We think we found the person rocking the gen in the form of Ray, leading scratch marks away from the generator, but little do we know Momo's back on that gen to meet our win con here of a 4K2, and that generator will definitely be popping as we commit to the chase onto Ray, but no, it gets popped in the background. I think the call came out from Bravo that there's got to be a second gamer on a doubling, and it just came out a little bit too late, unfortunately. Just one tiny little itty-bitty mistake there from Bravo, being unable to initially find Ray at that 4 lane has led to losing out on a potential 4K3, although this gen was also being cranked by the Ace. So I think the Survivors here just had too much pressure on the map to realistically secure that 4K3 unless we get too tappy and sluggy with it. But regardless, Bravo will now be playing for the best result possible, and if he keeps up this type of pressure, it will potentially be a high stage result. Potentially even the 9 stages that the average was predicted, but unfortunately Alex G getting caught out there at the check spot onto the wall from. We're getting M1 though, so no dash is coming through. We're going to battle to try and catch up. Pre-throw there coming through from Alex G, and just going back into wall form. Oh, we try and lie the way, but get caught out with the transform on the right side of the pallet, and that will be another fresh hook on the board, as well as a Painers potentially. If we have one available to us, but it looks like they're all off in Narnia, based off what I can see. So no Painers here for Bravo. It looks like both of our killers. Oh no, there's a Painers behind him. He just didn't turn around. Unless he just didn't want it for some, maybe he just didn't want it. Maybe he didn't feel like using Painers today. Maybe he wants it for later. But regardless, no Painers at the moment, as we do rotate over. We are in the Black Void once more, and a good stun there. Oh, does he have the Demogorgon bug where he like swaps at the wrong time? No, we're chill. Okay, very good. Hellfire not quite coming through and connecting onto Ray, and we do get an M1 though for our troubles. Anyway, tag coming through. We're forced to stay at this palace. We don't really have any resources nearby to go for. Very good red light mind games coming out from Bravo, but a bit of a greed from Ray may spell his demise, as I'm not sure he'll be able to quite make that power, but he does anyway. The dog dash not quite coming in just in time. Our totem is being cleansed there in the background, but I think that is just for inner strength. Going for the Hellfire, but I was about to say a miss, but it just catches Ray by the heels, and that will be the third fresh hook of the game. Caps Gen is working away ever so slowly in the background. However, the Painters will put a stop to it, and if he keeps up this level of pressure, we should be looking at a potential 4K here, maybe, if our chasers keep going this way, Chief.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think at this point, the expected result that Bravo would end up with, for me at least, is a 4K1. We do have a fair bit of pressure on this gen at 9. I'm not too sure if Tap's gen is actually this one here that we do see. I'm guessing considering he's at this tile here at 9, yeah, it's probably that gen close by, but not too sure. The rest of our pressure is looking like we do see Alex rotating for that unhook onto Ray. He's sent it up 2 side and will be there very, very shortly, and that's signal enough for Momo to get right back on that gen. But Bravo returning back to that hook, quick, smart, making sure that he can get another down. Eruption applied on that gen at 9 would be able to interrupt Momo yet again, and it all comes down to this chase onto Ray. He's got a few things left on this top side of the map, obviously. The pallet and the window in this RNL tile, as well as that edge map pallet, but he's holding distance nicely around that window short side and makes it to the pallet not in time, so Ray will be on the ground yet again. Another hook for him. We do see Alex playing for a potential beamer save, but unfortunately unable to get there in time. That will be a second hook onto Ray. And now back to 9 we go. Bravo going to interrupt that gen yet again. Turn back the clock to ensure it doesn't pop, but I don't think he needs to worry about that just yet. The progress is lacking. It's only at about 70%, so a kick yet again to reapply Eruption, and right on back once more. We're trying to get Ray out of this trial, I think, as quickly as possible. Forcing the 2v1 would be a surefire way to secure a 4K from this position, but the longer we chase Ray, the more potential they have to last in chase, especially with Deadheart in their back pocket. We do have a very strong filler palette at 9 as well, and I think Bravo doesn't want any of that. No risk in taking that chase for too long, and decided to head back to the gen at 9, instead interrupting Momo now and taking this chase as he heads towards 8. Only this filler pallet to play. We know that Crane has been dropped. The Hellfire does miss, and we can head right on back to our generator. Did see Alex as well in the background get on his gen at 3. That's about 50%, so Momo only needs to last about a minute extra here, and we could potentially see that generator popping and a lot of progress on Ray's generator, but I think they might be doubling. They are, in fact, doubling. That would secure a 4K1. I'm sure Momo will be able to last on this edge map filler for at least the 15 seconds that we do need, instead of playing it just heading all the way to the corner, taking a tag towards 12 now, Smunk.
Yes, continuing. I was about to say continuing the chase at the moment, but no, we're actually going to be taking the tag and dropping it, rotating away, and once again, yes, securing that 4K1, but we've rotated back down to our active just to try and check and see if anyone's trying to pop it, but no, we're instead resetting Ray in the background here. If we can try and find and kill Ray, it would be a great boon for Bravo here to force that 2v1 and try and play for that 4K1 result, which would be a really great, result on paper. Unfortunately, of course, we've already lost, as the win con was 4K4. Not as doable. But we found Momo once again still injured at the edge map here, and I do believe, yes, this is one of our paint res tokens because he's fresh, no shit Sherlock. But Momo doing a great job pathing here, going for the fast fall at the long wall. I don't think he has his path still available to him, or he does, but it's already down, so he will be going down there, being tagged over the path. This will be a paint res onto one of the most active generators, and I do believe Bravo also having somewhat of a 3-gen. They're fairly tight knit there in the center of the map, so a decent 3-gen to have as the Dark Lord on Wretched Shop. You can kind of, its position kind of allow. It's not really a 3-gen, is it? Is it? No. Kind. If you squint, you know, if you squint. But they're all fairly central to the map as well, so you can kind of, it's a bit easier to go back and forth between the gens due to their more central location. So it's not terrible gens. They could be worse. They could be one at Shack, one behind main, you know. But regardless, Bravo looking around the edge of the map here. All the crows are still down, so I don't think anyone will be over here at edge map stealthing. But you never know. We do see Momo getting pulled there in the background. I think that's second win or babysit, whatever it's called, coming through. Ooh, Finesse actually getting a good bit of value there on Ray, avoiding that dog dash hit after not really checking the right direction and getting caught out stealthing by this generator. And we're going to be continuing the chase around the Shack, but transitioning over to this filler part next to Shack, as Shack part's already down. We go for a cheeky little mind game there, which does result in Ray rotating away from the tile, but he's just going to be holding W, doesn't want to die anywhere near the gens. He is, I believe, no, he's not Pain Res, that is Alex G, that is the last Pain Res token. Ray, however, is Deathhook, so if we're able to get Ray down, that'd be a huge boom, but no, we do miss that dog dash on. I think we're just going to break this part. Bravo, it's right next to this really strong setup here, and just using our Hellfire to sort of zone away. We go for the dead hard there, but wait it out. Hellfire getting stuck in that tree and not really permeating through the environment there, and I think Bravo is now just unfortunately forced to leave. He's got to kick that part. It's connected to that window, and it's just giving him a massive ball ache, but he knows he has to drop here and go for a kick on this generator and try and get it down around his gen to get that eruption proc. And if he can 2-tap Alex G and get a quick pain nose out of it, that'd be a great burn for him. He's checking around the back of main there just to see if anyone's hanging out, and I think he has indeed found Alex G at the back of main here. I can't quite tell if it's ace or tap at the moment. Unfortunately, it is a tap, so no pain if we do get that down, but it will be an eruption proc. Unfortunately, missing those 2 dog dashes will mean he has to rotate away back to the main building to see if anyone is back on the generator, and that they are. The call came through, we're already rotating away. This would be the tap. Ray is working a different generator on the other side of the map just to split the pressure a little bit, but we do miss that dog dash there. I think that was just an M1, my apologies, but getting the tag there onto Alex G anyway, it's not a great power to work with here. The power of the main is about 75%, so we have somewhat, about 20 seconds to work with here to get that down to proc eruption, and then the following 10 seconds afterwards to try and get that pain res. We know that there's a pain res around this tile here because Tap was talking about it very previously, but it does mean that Bravo kind of has to pick up the pace just a little bit, and he has to hit this down, and that he does. Eruption comes through, and that will buy him precious seconds here to try and keep this generator alive, and he doesn't go for the pain res. Instead, he greeds the slug there and rotates away. I do believe our Unbreakable is on Momo, so we don't have any risk of Unbreakable so far, which is great to see, but Ray is working a higher progress generator in the background. That M1 dog not quite coming through as we don't have the extended lunge on the dog. Going for the dash, it does come through. Trying to crouch away from it is Momo, but no, it connects anyway, and Ray's gen will eventually pop in the background, but Momo is our Unbreakable, and unless Bravo has a crystal ball in his back pocket where he can see who has what perks, he won't know that Momo is Unbreakable if he does go for the slug play and tries to read for the 4K onto Ray, but Ray's gen will be popping in the background there any second now. It should be popping right about now, and Momo will now be going down as well, and he is slugging Momo, who has Unbreakable, which means by the time he downs Ray, if he does manage to find him, he will be able to pick himself up and rotate over for a pickup with Alex G, and everyone will be back in the game once more to try and get some bodies out of the end game here.
Yeah, and I think what's worth noting as well is that Momo on the ground does have Unbreak. I think you might have just said that, Smunk. Did you just say that?
Like 3 times, yeah.
Like 3 times, yeah. And he's picked himself up. Would you look at that? 4th time's a charm. It's been mentioned 4 times. He's done exactly that. We bought enough time for him to get himself up off the ground just by being confused between ourselves. Now, that is my bad, but it does... Hello? Hello, Ray. The killer is there. That's the 2nd time. I think Ray has been a little bit unaware of where the killer is and has run right into his embrace. Unfortunately, Bravo isn't too interested in Ray right now. That would be the least amount of stages we could get from this situation. We do see Alex and Momo scampering about. They're trying to get on this gate at 12. The other, I think the gate is at 4 or 2, I think it was. Yeah, it's over here at 2. And I'm going to get the pickup onto Ray, basically force him to sit this gate whilst the other 2 survivors stealth, trying to ensure that we can get as many stages as possible out the door. But Momo's location will eventually be spotted out as Ray and Momo venture towards the backside of Shack. Alex finally able to get on that gate at 12, at least securing 2 stages out the door. We do see Bravo abuse the dog bug, being able to catch up very quickly to Ray, but he swings just short. karma for abusing that bug, my friend. But no, unfortunately, it's still in the game, and there's really not a lot you can do about it. It's kind of becoming a feature at this point. I guess you just have to accept it. But Smunk, in brighter news, my 9-stage result expected is, I think, about to come. I can't math. This is 8. This is 8 if we kill Ray. So maybe not.
No,
that we
not
do.
quite.
Not quite. 8-4.
Yes. Which is a bad result, right? Like, Wretched Fate, my god. Wretched Shop! It's a good map for survivors.
The man who once said he didn't like this killer at all and would never touch it became one of the best we've seen in the new generation. And honestly, I'm very excited to see what he's going to cook up for us today. It promises to be something special, considering this is Flatline's pick. They must be confident. We've seen them play it previously in Division 2, Season 2, and they looked very, very strong. So, we'll be up to them now to be able to take us to our tiebreaker. Bravo. The onus is all on him, Smunk.
Yes, absolutely. And loading in here, Billy, once again, one of our tier 1 sets, so he does have to deal with a whole bunch of bullshit. But on the Blood Lodge, so definitely a very good map for survivors, but a lot of tiles that Billy can definitely play around. Cahill being our no-mither player, and we've already found some linking scratch marks here at the Shack. He's also pretty stacked in terms of his perks, but we're not too concerned about whoever's at the Shack, actually. We're trying to rotate around and try and find someone else. I think we've clocked onto Ray, who is our Sprint Burst Champion Light Urban Evasion Finesse player. It's a really interesting build. I don't know if I've seen something like that before. It's a very light build, all things considered, for a Hillbilly set, but we do find Ray here. Bravo, unfortunately, not quite able to clock onto Ray just quick enough, but Pre-Float will be coming through Champion Light as well, so nice and slow there. Should buy us enough distance to try and make it to the Shack, and Bravo's just kind of forced to hold his sword for a little bit. However, very excellent pacing there from Bravo will reward him with a fairly early down. He could take the basement hook if he wanted to, which is exactly what he's doing. No pain res in our tier 1 killers, so he does just have Pop and Rush to work with. No turn back to clock though, as he does have Bamboozle to help him out a little bit just in chase. We can't see the add-ons because of the UI bug, but it's Spark Boots, area engravings. Let's be honest with ourselves. Gen progress on the side of Celestial, not looking too good. We have a generator at about 50%. We nearly catch out Slappy here. Ooh, is looking very dicey there for a little bit of a minute there. Nearly caught out the person going for the rotate, but no, not quite. And Bravo's just playing the defensive game here, proxying the Shack from about halfway up the map. Just keeping an eye on the 3 closest generators in the band here. We do see some lingering scratch marks at this bus setup here. But fact remains is, who is it? And it is Slappy, who was, I think, the person that was going in for the save has unfortunately been found. Not our Delhi player, though, as that will be someone else, but he is a dead hard unbreakable player, and he is doing a really good job pathing here, trying to keep a bunch of just scrap in between himself and the Hillbilly here. Ray may well be hitting second stage unless someone's come back for the unhook there and is going for the intercept, and it is going to be Ace Visconti here going for the unhook. Am I crazy, or does no one have Delhi? Did we ban Delhi on tier 1s? Do I have dementia?
Billy, Smunk, we don't have Delhi, we don't have
That's right, yes, those are the two.
We weren't going to have DS. Spoiler, but there is that still in the balancing, and oh my god, Ray's not getting out of the basement. Wait, hold on, Bravo, M1 now, son, M1, come on, it's been 15 seconds, surely, you can count, yes. Bravo has managed to body block the hook for 15 whole seconds. We've got Ray back on the ground. Alex is at Shack still. He's potentially getting curved around, but no, he takes his distance towards 6. That's going to be Bravo able to get his second hook onto Ray. Very quick, smart, not being able to get out of Shack. Secures the second stage at 4 generators. That was incredibly well played by Bravo, and definitely exactly what you need, considering, once again, there is no Delhi, there is no plot twist. Billy, we consider to be about a tier 1.5 killer, I would say. He's definitely not as strong as Blight or Nurse. Even after Blight's recent changes, they are still definitely the 2 premier killers in the game. Maybe Billy isn't even top 3 anymore, but that's a whole other conversation to have. And we wanted to kind of reflect that at OSL. We think Billy needed that little bit extra help in his time, and what better to do that than remove the most premier perks on the Survivor side. And Bravo taking full advantage of that now, has a basement hook, and has no interest in leaving, because what are you going to do? Trade? That man is just going to be stuck in basement himself.
Yeah, removing a lot of the, I guess, like, the anti-psych pokes, like, plot twist is just a little bit too much of an anti-psych poke, because then what, you have 3 in the game, you have no mither, you have unbreakable, and then you have blood twist. which can be used as an anti-slick perk. It's not always used as an anti-slick perk. You can use it to reset, but in the Billy set, it would be used as anti-slick, like you just go down when you're expecting to go down, and pick yourself up. So you would have 3 out of 4 players having some form of anti-slug, and it just kind of sucks to play against this Billy. But we get 3 gens done in the backhand there for at the cost of Ray's death. So it's definitely winnable. We also just saw Alex G there just lurking around, stalking by the shack for some reason. Don't know why he's walking up on the Billy. Maybe just trying to bait chase on him. I'm not too sure. But anyway, he doesn't have any resources here. I think he still has the shack pallet if he's lucky, but we're in blue sword there, but missed the curve. It's just a little bit too short to try and get that curve there on the Billy. We still have shack pallet available to us as well, but we're just going to be leaving there and going over to our actors. We unfortunately do hit a rock there too, but we interrupt Zlappy working the main building generator here. And thankfully for Bravo's benefit, we do have multiple generators within our... we could have hit that curve. We just committed to going right around that window maybe, but Zlappy will make a good bit of distance here, trying putting a bunch of rocks and tires against him. A little bit of a swerve there. He ducks out the way of Billy's saw and makes it out alive, and he's gone all the way down to the other side of the map, which is a great boon for him. Excellent death spot potential if he does eventually go down. Bravo being extremely patient with the saw, but no blue there means he doesn't quite move fast enough, and it gives Zlappy enough time to go wide. This is an excellent pallet here in the form of the bus pallet, and he will be breaking. Blue saw about to be ready. We have our known middle player there in the background too, just trying to stealth and hide, but Zlappy could go down any minute. But Bravo, the world's most patient man, he is like a Buddhist monk and just waiting for the right time to strike, and eventually does come with an excellent down there coming through and an eruption onto the main building. He will have pop on hand too to hopefully interrupt that shack generator, which is super high progress. So ideally he does rotate over there and doesn't spend it on main. I think main's regressing anyway, but he'll be heading on all the way down to shack because he knows that someone would likely be working out as indeed Alex G, who we did see down there earlier. So I dare say he will be waiting for his eruption to come off of cooldown before applying the kick there, and there it is, eruption and pop being applied to the generator, which is a great boon. He's already off the hook working a gen in the background. Excellent crouch tech there from Alex G. That will barely get away with his life here, but we are in blue, so we have this part to work with. But pre-throwing on the wrong side means that we do go down 5 moves ahead, not doing us many favors in that situation, and that will be another fresh hook on the board once more in the basement. What a terrible, terrible place to be if you're on Celestial, but we're not hooking in the basement. We're actually hooking in the middle of all of our gens instead here, Chief.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised we haven't taken a basement hook there. I know obviously we do kind of want it more central in the generators, but our gens are so split. We have 12, we have 6, we have 9, and we have main. And yeah, sure, that can form a 3-gen on either side of the map, but we do see 9 here about to go, and I think maybe taking this hook more centrally might come back to bite us, actually. Not too sure if it was. No, in fact, it wasn't the gen at 9, it was this one at 12. Cahill has been on it since the chase here was ended on Zlappy, but unfortunately now for Cahill, because he is no miser, just an M1 tag to get him out of the trial and put onto the hook himself. Consolidation for him at least. He will have DS to play around if he is chased yet again, but I don't think it's going to be in Bravo's interest to come back here. He's going to allow 12 to regress, and I think he's going to try and head back on over to Shack, trying to catch somebody out instead, heading to main from the 3 side. Maybe back to 12 now, expecting the rotation. Yeah, spotted out. Zlappy heading for that unhook. He might be able to get the snipe just in time. I'm not too sure the trade can come out, and I don't think Zlappy is too confident in it either. No pallet within the box, so that's just going to be him on the ground unless he's able to hit that dead hard. He does exactly that, buys him some safety towards 11, and back to the hook we go. We know this gen at 12 is so highly progressed. Bravo going to kick it with pop and eruption yet again and allow Cahill to sit. Maybe back to Shack, worried that Alex could have been sitting this entire time, scared of the possibility that that gen could be popping, but no. Bravo maybe accepting the fact that that gen could go and he wouldn't care. Rather heading there now. Alex very greedily still on that gen. Bravo now cutting him off, playing with the chainsaw around Shack, trying to get this down. Alex will crouch, but he's just managed to avoid it regardless. The medium vault does spell our end, though, as we unfortunately mistime that fast. It'll put Alex on the ground. Another kick onto this gen at Shack. The unhook does come out. Smunk at 12. Bravo in such a dominant spot yet again. Maybe we're going to see that basement hook come on out.
Ideally, you do. You have 2 injured survivors on the floor too, so if someone does get basement, you can just M1 them. Don't need to worry about mucking up a saw on the stairs. And Alex G will be going basement right below that active generator, which is not what you want to see. But I think eruption's still applied to it. Maybe I can't tell. But no, just went on what I want to talk about. But pop goes the Rizzle will mean that we can kick one of these generators over here. We do catch out Steve lurking nearby. I believe this is our DS player though, and it is still on cooldown too, so this is a bit of an unfortunate chase to take. We have Light on deck as well if we're able to use it, and I'm quite surprised we're actually throwing that pallet instead of just maybe dying under pallet or forcing a slug on the DS in the corner. But trying to play our life just a little bit here. Great curve there from Bravo will come out onto a down. However, he's got like 10 seconds of DS left, and unfortunately he is none the wiser unless he knows it's DS, and that would be the stun coming through. We go for the slow vault over the pallet here, so not really looking to make any distance right now. We're trying to play around the pallet just a little bit more, but we do break it and force Steve further down into the map here. I think Cahill is still on 300 MS, although that stun says otherwise. He has a force field around him apparently, but he will be slugging, just leaving that chase and rotating back to Shaq. However, it is instead Zlappy working a gen on the other side of the map there over by the buses that is going to pop in Bravo's face before he's able to do anything about it, and that will mean that we're at a 4K1 result if we do manage to kill all the survivors. Zlappy gets sniped. Very impressive saw there from Bravo, but Cahill trying to rotate down for the unhook doesn't quite make it there. Oh, Alex G dies in the basement. A man left to rot down there for his crimes. Zlappy will likely be letting go, and then we're going to be playing the very fun door game with the Hillbilly. Depending on where our doors are, we may or may not be able to get out the door here with Cahill with the 2 stages on the board, although he is just running around main building. I think he's actually going for the unhook. Zlappy will not be letting go here. Instead just going for the unhook, maybe trying to crank a generator out in the meantime. But very rough position to be in if you're Celestial, Chief.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think Bravo is also aware that some hook could be coming out. Where we see him already back. He's nearly managed to snipe Zlappy off of that hook, hit his BT instantaneously. But now taking this chase onto Cahill as he heads back towards main. And fortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to make very much. I'm not too sure if this pallet is still here. It is, in fact. He's going to vault right into Bravo, though. No life to save us this time. And fortunately, no decisive strike as well. So that will be his second hook of the trial. Zlappy sent it all the way to 11. Now, very close to this hook. He's actually emoting in Bravo's face. I'm not too sure if he spotted him, but now he has. I think we're going to have a bit of a fun chase to end off this game. We do still have this jungle at 11. I think Zlappy's going to make the most of it.
Doing the chase into Zlappy here at the jungle. He's trying his best to just have a bit of a fun chase. I suppose Cahill on the hook in the background there, just playing a bit of a spectator. I think he barely makes a pallet. No, not quite, even though I'm pretty sure that was the Dead Hard animation that just came out.
Actually, 25 minutes, which is typical OSL fashion, guys. We're never on time. But no, that will, of course, be Artorias versus X-Side coming on up right after this. But once again, only if Bravo does achieve 8 stages. If not, we will see the conclusion of this match here and now. And for Bravo, once again, not too sure I've ever... It's not a good start. He has failed at using his bound. And yeah, maybe that does go to speak of the lack of experience he does have on this killer, but hey, what's it matter when you have these generators? Holy, we have a nice 4 generator bottom, and our 5th generator on the map is top mid. These are going to be so incredibly easy for our survivors. Sorry, rather, our killer to hold, and our survivors are off to a very slow start, as you always see against the Ghoul. We already have a tag onto Cahill, and Bravo will be heading towards Shaq, spotting out Alex. Once again, trying to play it for a tag. We've unfortunately missed the first attempt, but the second does work. That's going to be Alex bitten and infected as well. And to Bravo's favor with this type of gameplay is the fact that he has Thanatophobia on his build. That's already 4% of a slowdown on these generators. And the more and more pressure he applies by getting these early injuries, the more effective that perk will be. It's going to be a very strong boon for him as he continues to play these chases out.
Yeah, decent start to him with 2 tags on the board. Thanatophobia helping him out there too, but we do commit to the chase onto Alex G. Alex G can't really afford to die down here, as you said. I'm pretty sure anyway, my eyes don't deceive me. This is where all the generators are. Actually, I think. I can't quite tell. I'm stupid, ignore me. We'll figure it out. But actually, we'll be going down there. Unfortunately, the ping will have something to say about that, as he does die there. We have Cahill working the main generator all the way over there on the other side of the map. We're able to get a hook in the middle of this 3-gen. That would be a great boon, but our pain reses are off of Narnia, it seems. It looks like we have... No, we've missed a skill check. If that was a pain res, that would have been a huge boon for Bravo, but unfortunately, we've also buggered up the slingshot there as well. But we do interrupt the generator, which is good to see. So we do apply a little bit of eruption there. Do we find Ray stealthing at the Flatline? We do find Ray stealthing at the Flatline. This is our sprint burst player. So despite the sprint burst, oh no, we actually swerved the bite with the sprint burst due to the speed. Bravo wasn't able to catch up, but unfortunately, it looks like Ghoul does not obey the laws of physics and bit him through a wall and a locker. Shout out the bite mechanic on Ghoul, but Ray is going to go die towards the bottom side of the map here and tries to commit all the way over to the corner here behind the hill. This hill spawn is really unfortunate, but I think Ray might have bounce landing if he's lucky. You know, he doesn't. I'm stupid. I just saw him use sprint burst. My goodness. Eruption coming through on the high prog gen 2, so a hook will be coming out onto Ray. We see the unhook onto Alex G in the background too, and once again, we don't see any tunnel outs happening quite yet there. A high prog gen over by the main building, and our painters, I think, are all over on main side from what I can see, but so that's not really good, as we kind of just have a dead perk if everyone dies bottom. But we did see Zlappy actually stealthing in a locker there, which is awesome because it means that he's able to go for a very quick pull here. We see the main generator popping any minute now. I'm sure Bravo doesn't really give a damn about the main building generator. It's so far removed from the gens he actually does care about. He wants to hold the shack generators down here, and ideally, if he's capable of, he would like to go for a tunnel out onto Ray, who has rotated all the way up to Shack, it seems, unless this isn't the no, this is Lappy instead. But I think Ray might have moved away towards the edge of the map. I can't quite tell where she's gone. I think he's gone. I think I saw a crow fly up towards the mid choke there. Yep, that was him crossing up towards the main building side of the game, and so we are just coming to Zlappy here. Who is trying to play around the side to the best of his ability, but unfortunately not quite able to make use of that light there. Yeah, going down in the gen's not great to see. I don't think we have any pain resistors here either, so this will probably be a basement hook. This is really bad. This is looking a lot similar to the game that Ray had earlier. However, the downs are coming out much more quickly against Celestial here, Chief.
Yeah, and once again, I think Bravo has a bit more of a boon in this set in comparison to Ray, just because he knows he only needs to play for 8 stages. Setting the win con can be a bit of a troublesome task because of that. You might want to play the game in a certain way, but it's all up to achieving your best result. Bravo doesn't need to play for the quote-unquote best result. He only needs to beat what was put in front of him, and you know, he's already achieved 3 stages, a 4th if he so chooses to pick up Ray, but instead we spotted out Cahill here in the mid-map. We're going to get the Vault over and the Infection onto him, but not the tag just yet. The M1, though, will come out very shortly. Zlappy has been saved by Alex from the basement, but Ray still on the ground in this mid-map, potentially going to get picked up now to secure the 4th stage of the trail. We know nobody there for the pallet save right now, and finally, we can get use out of our pain reses, but no, we're actually opting to drag bottom yet again. We don't even want to use our pain res. The most bottom pain res, of course, being that one that we did spot at 10. That was a really funny sight, Smunk, in my opinion, but fortunately right now for Ray, our Death Hook survivor, but our potential tunnel out, maybe the first we're going to see in this school set if Bravo does decide to go back for this hook. But once again, Bravo prioritizing his gens very, very heavily. His gen setup on the bottom side is so strong, and I think he's going to want to stay here for the entirety of the match, especially if we keep finding injured survivors all the way over here. That's going to be Zlappy spotted out at Shack. I'm not too sure Bravo realized that you cannot vault after a survivor that is not marked, and that does give Zlappy distance back into the mid-map. He has this jungle here, but Bravo will be zipping his way to 3, potentially playing for a cutoff, but to no avail. Zlappy has waited safely at this pallet, but the cutoff has come out perfectly, so that's going to be Zlappy dead on this pallet. We pick up facing towards the mid-map, ensuring that we cannot be saved from that side, but nobody there for it. We did see, I believe that was Ray and Cahill getting reset in the mid-choke, and Alex somewhere in his rotation, I'm sure, but yeah, that is what 5 of the 8 stages we need, with 3 generators remaining, and every single generator can be held if Bravo was to stand right here. So things are looking very, very dire for our survivors.
It's looking very much in the favor of Bravo here. And very scary for the survivors, as you said, which is certainly a shame. We do see the unhook coming through onto Zappy. If we're able to get a decent down there, that would be good, and could get that tunnel out that we weren't able to see Ray achieve there in the last half of the set. I did notice that, yeah, literally all of the pain resistors are wrapped across the very, very top of main here. which is a shame. Like, you know, you get good gens with the monkey paw curls and you have terrible pain roses. But he doesn't need the pain roses, it seems. He's more than happy to just go and about his day and just get hooked within his gens and just control them that way through Eruption. And it's working out in his favor very handsomely. It'd be great if he could get the kill, though. We did see 2 survivors there, doubling a generator in the background, just powering through the Thanatophobia. Not really too concerned about it. Although we don't really have to be concerned about Thanatophobia until it reaches those 4 stacks. So that's all well and good anyway. But just being forced to kick this part here, actually having a great chase here with excellent pathing, avoiding that bite to the best visibility. Gets a really good fast vault there too. Bravo going for a bit of a mind game, doesn't quite work out in his favor and does not come to fruition. Goes for a bait on the revolt there, but actually will be faking the window, and Bravo bought that with interest. Alex Q will now be able to connect that to a match we find right at the edge map here, but it doesn't connect. Sprint Burst makes us dodge that, and if we get able to get a bite here, that'd be great. We do once again get the bite, which is good to see. This is our potential tunnel here too, so if we're able to get a quick kill onto Raid, that'd be great. No one working motors though, but Bravo knows that he can't really afford to just ignore any resets or anything like that. If he's able to get this tag onto Michaela, that would be great. We try and go for a bite, but we don't have the room to do so. Cahill is our last health survivor. That would mean 4 stacks at that, and we get the tag through the pad, which is good to see as well. Also, this is our last fresh survivor as well, so if we're able to get the cutoff there. Did we find the reset? I think we just found the reset too at top, which is great to see. If your name is Bravo, if we're able to kill right here, that'd also be really good, because this is where all our pain res are. We can finally get use out of a pain res token. A pre-throw coming through from Ray, but Bravo falling for a couple of fakes, but unfortunately Ray losing that 50-50 there. That is the down onto him and a kill as well. This will also finally be a pain res at the 6th hook of the game and a death onto Ray. All we need to do really is just find Cahill, camp him, and I'm pretty sure if I could do basic maths, that would be game.
Yeah, I don't actually think Bravo... Oh, was it? It was 7-4 last time. No, I was going to say any hook onto Cahill would be the win for Bravo, but no, not in this instance just yet. He would need to achieve 2 more hook stages from this point onwards to secure his victory. Cahill, the 4th fresh, would be the tie condition right now, and fortunately for Bravo, he's actually not going to swat out Cahill. This is Alex all the way at 6 yet again. We don't have a lot of resources left on this side of the map, and once again, right in the middle of our generators. So really, Alex will need the last. We do make this jungle pallet. The cutoff is not going to come out in time. Alex has actually managed to perfectly body block the pallet to ensure that he would still have his prompt, and greeds nicely towards the window. But Bravo, once again, trying to use his bounce to cut off Alex, and he's done exactly that. Alex has gone for the double back into the window, but he will be on the ground for that misplay, and that will be Bravo's 7th hook of the Trials Lappy, and Cahill were doubling that top mid-gen. Sorry, more this 8 mid-gen. And right now, all Bravo needs to do is get 1 more down to secure his victory. With 2 generators remaining, I dare say it is pretty much... Oh, Cahill vaulting into the killer, and Slappy running right on into his embrace as well. But no, Bravo most definitely will be able to secure this set, meaning we will be heading back on to Billy.
Yes, back to the Billy set, back to Flatline's pick as well, which is unfortunate for Celestial. Excellent revolt there from Zlappy as well. Getting live off of the 2, which is a great boon, gets them all the way to the top of the map. That will, of course, be played offline, everyone, so we won't be going back and forth. We won't be sitting here for 2 hours on the first series of the night. We will be proceeding to the next series, probably like 40 minutes late. We're so sorry about that, but it is just the way of things and the nature of, you know, best of 3 DVDs. We allot an hour and a half, goes over due to, you know, long games like Ghoul sets on stuff a bit. They are very long. It's just unfortunate that it is the tiebreaker too, but able to get that down under to Actually, I'm not too sure he'll be able to make that part. Nope, the down does come through, which is great to see. Eruption being procced in the background there as well, so that might reveal Adam's location, unless, of course, RxG did call that the down was coming through. But with that hook there, I think that's 8-3. No, is it 7? That should be win. Yeah, that's win. That's the win. I'm insane. My apologies. So just very much just playing for best result now is Bravo. He got a great match here on the Ghoul, but now we'll go back to his Hillbilly with a offline ref spectating the game, making sure everything goes swimmingly there. And we'll, of course, once we get the results, we'll let you know who did win that set, and afterwards we'll be moving forward with the next match, which is, while this chase happens in the background here, onto Slappy as he goes from a fantastic vault there, getting live through the matchstick tile as well, so buying him a good bit of distance. And this setup here in the middle is quite devious as well. It's very rough to try and play around, but next sets will be a Torius vs. Exide, starting out with Blight on Suffer Pit 1 once more. Welcome back to the Macmillan Estate. But gen being done in the background there, we do see Cahill pop that gen finally. Bite coming through onto Zampi, which does give us some rage back. And Cahill will just be rotated to another generator to hopefully crank it. But you also have all these resources at the top side of the map here. But good cut up there from Bravo will spell the demise of Adam Francis. This will also potentially just be a painters. And I think Bravo just doesn't give a damn if Cahill gets out. I'll be real. He's just going to get the hook onto the painters, call it a day, and get ready for the Brilly set. Painters coming out too. Got to use our second token, guys. Yippee! But he'll have to try and race down to the hatch there. I think Cahill will be able to get it as he's just a little bit ahead. But unless we're able to get around, but that stumped in the way here. He goes to the M1 cutoff. Oh, it actually works! Great play there from Bravo too. Very, very well done, my friend. Excellent use of the extended lines there to just cut off Cahill just barely, and cancelling this should be the end of Cahill there. Very comfortable 4K1, well deserved from Bravo, and that will be the cool set going in the favor of Flatline.
Yeah, incredibly well.